Hello students, I am Dr. Garima Srivastava from Lal Bahadur Shastri College, Lucknow. I am going to discuss the topic of free trade. Now, what is free trade? This is important to know. Free means a trade that is free from rules and regulations. Now, why do we trade? We were talking about trade in terms of international trading. Now, we have already discussed trade in international context when the countries import or export goods between their borders. So, whenever the countries go for exporting a product or whenever they import a product from other country into the home country, the home country governments impose certain kind of taxes on the product or services. So, that kind of trade cannot be called as a free trade. So, when we were talking about the taxes, what kind of taxes can be imposed on a product or services? Sometimes these taxes act as barriers to imports or exports into the country. So, these tax barriers can be divided into two parts as we have discussed: tariff taxes, tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. So, tariff barriers are related to money or value of the product that you are importing into the country. So, whenever you are importing a product into a country, the exact value of the product, some part of that or some proportion of that value has to be given as a tax. Similarly, we have certain non-tariff barriers. They are not related to monetary terms, but they are related to rules and regulations that a country imposes on the imported goods. Such as a country can say that whenever you are preparing an imported good, the raw material requirement should be from the home country. That means you need to procure those raw material from the home country itself. Now, it may pose a kind of restriction on trade because not all the companies will be willing to procure the raw material from the home country. So, this was all about a trade which was not free, which was full of taxes, full of restrictions that the home country imposes on the imported goods. Now, on the contrary, we have free trade. That means, whenever there are no taxes, no tariffs, duties on the imported goods or exported goods. So, in this sense, free trade is the opposite of protectionism. Opposite of protectionism means all those tariffs and non-tariff barriers were being implemented because the country wanted to protect the domestic traders from being over exploited or from the strict competition that was being posed by the products of the foreign countries. So as to protect these domestic traders, the country is used to impose the rules and regulations. So, exactly opposite of this, if the country does not want to protect them, so they will levy these tax without rules and regulations. That means, a foreign good can enter into the national boundaries or the home country without any kind of tariffs or taxes. So, this will be this was implemented so as to eliminate the policy of competition from the foreign good. Now, it is necessary to understand over here what will happen if free trade is allowed. Now, if free trade is allowed, many kind of goods can enter into your country which are exactly banned in other countries or which may be harmful to your country or the people who consume that good or use that good. Now, we can say that a combination of free trade plus a combination of free trade and some kind of barriers in the form of protectionism should be applied on export or import of the products, so as to prevail in a nourishing condition, so as to so that domestic country does not face any kind of deficits in future. So, we will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of free trade. Now, of course, when we talk about free trade, there are certain kind of advantages. First of all, international specialization. So, of course, when we allow most of the products to enter our country without any taxes, without any restrictions, rules and regulations, the specialized products reach your country. Now, what do these specialized products do in your country? They present a condition of competition for the domestic market. That means, if domestic market will face this competition, they will also try to develop, they will also try to do more and more research and development in the same kind of product, and they may come up with a certainly good quality of product. So, free trade causes international specialization as it enables different countries to produce those goods in which they have comparative advantage. Now, it will enable those goods, that means whatever I am good at, I will be selling that particular product. We have already discussed this in comparative or absolute cost advantage theory. That means countries decide on exporting of particular good or importing of particular good. They depended on different kind of theories. That means they checked into the production processes, they checked into production factors, whatever are at advantages for the country, they go for that particular production of good. So, they need to specialize in those goods only. That means, if you are exporting only one good at which you are good at, you will be specialized in selling, in manufacturing of that good only. International trade enables countries to obtain advantage of specialization. It can be done through two ways. First of all, a great variety of product will be obtained. That means, whenever we allow free trade from other countries into the home country, variety of goods are obtained from that particular country into the domestic country, and domestic market is already available with the same kind of substitute products or similar kind of products. So, consumers or customers are available with a great variety of product from which they can choose. Now, if there are a great variety of products, of course, the pricing will be as such as the customers are able to pay. So, we can say that all the countries can have different kind of products, and none of the country will be left with one or more product which they cannot avail of. For example, Iceland would have no coal, Nepal would have no oil, and Spain would have no gold if they did not went into the free trade. So, free trade in earlier days was done through mercantilism, where we talked about that the countries used to only export and reduce the factor of imports. So, it was done in a free form without any rules and regulations. So, the mother country exported goods at which it was good at, and in return of that good they took gold reserves from the country from which it was earning revenues. Secondly, we can say that specialization leads to increase in total production process of the country. Now, of course, if demand of your product will increase in the home country as well as the foreign country, you would go for more quantity of production. That means, production will also increase and customer demand will also increase if free trade is allowed in the country. Secondly, increase in world production and world consumption. International trade permits an industry to take full advantage of economies of scale. That means, large scale production. Now, large scale production is done so as to decrease the per unit cost of the product. So, why do we do so? We can do so only when the demand of the product is more in the domestic market as well as in the foreign market. Otherwise, what if we go on producing in large quantities and there are no buyers for our product, then we will land up in the product which is useless for us, or it may be kept in godown for a long period of time and we are having no buyers. So, international trade will also boost world consumption as compared to your trade, domestic trade. So, whenever there is large demand in the domestic market as well as the foreign market, you would go for more and more production in the home country. That means, it increases the world production and world consumption in internationally traded goods. So, whatever goods are traded more and more internationally, they cross the border of one country to the another. So, we can increase the production of such kind of goods because they have more demand in the domestic market as well as in the foreign market. Now, coming down to the third point, that is safeguarding against the advent of monopolies. So, if we do not allow any of the foreign goods to enter into our home country and number of suppliers of a particular good are lesser in the domestic market, it may lead to monopolies. That means, only one seller is there in the market. So, if only one seller is there, the prices are mostly fixed by this seller only, because we as consumers or customers have no bargaining power, because we have only one vendor of that particular product. So, we have to buy it from him only, and another option or variety is available in the market. So, for decreasing this particular monopolies in the domestic market, it is necessary to introduce free trade. Thirdly, if there are no international competitions, home market would be so narrow that it would be comparatively easy for combination of firms to control the market to certain extent. That means, monopolies or the companies which enjoy monopolies, they will control the market, control the domestic market by fixing up the prices of the product on their own. Now, these prices, if it is a consumer good or it is an electric good, the consumer has to pay that price whatever these companies or organizations are fixing, because there are none other sellers of the same product in the market. Thus, free trade will help the countries to break these domestic monopolies. So, it will allow more and more products from the different countries to enter into your market, and these products will come up with certain kind of competition to the domestic market. People will be also be available with a variety of product from the foreign goods as well as the domestic goods, and this monopolies can be broken down. Fourthly, link with the other countries. So, international trade, through free trade we can improve the links, we can improve the information, we can improve the relation between the two countries. International trade and commercial relations often lead to an interchange of knowledge, ideas and culture between nations. So, because we are not only trading goods between two countries, we also exchange knowledge, ideas and culture. So, whenever there is an exchange of knowledge between two countries, it can strengthen the relation between those two countries. This often happens when produce a better understanding among those countries and leads to amity, and theory reduces the possibility of commercial rivalry and war. Thereby, it reduces the possibility of rivalry between the countries. So, whenever the countries are allowed to enter into some other country with their product and services, and they cater into the customers of the domestic market, there comes a possibility that a rivalry or war between these two countries can be reduced. Why? Because they are in a business terms with each other, and they cater to the customers in both the countries. So, both of the countries would not like that their revenues are affected with this particular kind of links. So, whenever the countries are doing business with each other, they reduce a possibility of war. Then, higher earning of factors of production. So, whenever you allow free trade into the organization, into the country, it increases the earning capacity of the people, of the home country. Why? Because whenever the products from the foreign country or host country enter into your country, imported goods, we are talking about imported goods, whenever they enter into the country, there may be chances that these imported goods are produced in your own country. Why? Because it may reduce the cost of manufacturing of the product. So, whenever the companies do so, they start manufacturing the product in the home country, then in that case it brings in an opportunity of employment for the people in that country. So, it would increase the productivity of each factor. Now, what are these factors? We are talking about factors of production, that means man, money and material. So, these three factors are essential factors for the production of any of the goods or services. So, if a country is rich in these factors, you may go for the companies from the host country may go for production in the home country only. So, imported goods, those were first manufactured from the host country, may now be manufactured in the home country, so as to decrease the price of the product. So, once you are able to do so by producing in the same country, you will be able to decrease the price of the product. Once the price is decreased, you are able to sell more and more to the customers. So, it increases the customer base in the host country also. Benefits to the consumer. On account of free trade, the consumers of different countries get the best quality foreign goods, often of a wider range of choice at low prices. Now, it is mostly benefited for the consumers, because when the imported goods enter into the host country, home country, the domestic traders also start preparing the product according to the quality that is being offered by the imported goods. So, there is already a competition between the domestic product and the imported product. So, consumers are available with a wide variety of product where both imported goods and domestic goods, they compete with each other on prices, on quality, on wider range of choices. So, consumer is available with a wide variety of products at a very low price. So, he can choose from any of the products and he may switch over from one product to another. So, this kind of variety is available in the domestic market for the consumer if we go for free trade. Then higher efficiency and optimum utilization of resources. Once we try this free trade, it stimulates home producers to put forth their best effort with the increased managerial efficiency. Now, of course, once the imported goods are there in the domestic market, the domestic producers will also be stimulated to produce the best out of their production houses. So, that means they are also ready for this particular kind of healthy competition with the imported goods, so that they are also able to produce goods with same kind of quality or superior kind of quality and at the same prices. So, they are also able to increase their efficiency, they have to increase their efficiency and optimum utilization of resources is done. That means, whatever resources are there in the home country, the domestic producers have to rely on these resources, and once they are able to optimally utilize these resources, they will be able to produce these goods at a lower price. Then reduces the evil effects of protectionism. So, protectionism has certain kind of evil effects also. Protectionism is done so as to protect the domestic traders from the strong competition that is being posed by the imported goods. So, the countries for the purpose of protecting their domestic traders, they imply certain kind of tariffs and non-tariffs on the imported goods, so that they are the domestic producers are able to produce their product, they are able to sustain themselves in this strict competition environment, and they are able to sustain their customers also. So, there are certain ill effects of protectionism also. Now, free trade tries to remove these ill effects to a certain extent. Free trade is also advocated because it can remove ill effects or evil effects of the protectionism, such as high prices, growth of monopolies, corruption and bribery. That means, mostly monopolies can be reduced with the help of free trade. That means, only one producer and a number of buyers are there. Monopoly is this kind of condition. So, to reduce this kind of condition where you are available with only one supplier. So, for increasing the number of supplier, we can introduce imported goods in the domestic market. Now, coming down to disadvantages of free trade. Certainly, when free trade is advantageous, some of the points are there at which it is disadvantageous also, because we already know tariffs and taxes are imposed so as to protect or safeguard the interests of the domestic traders. So, of course, if we allow free trade of imported goods into the country, it will hamper the growth of the industrialization, it will hamper the growth of domestic traders in the home country. So, first of all, excessive dependence. As a country depends too much on foreign countries, an outbreak of war may upset its economy. During 1991 Gulf War, America refused to sell its products to its enemies, that is the Gulf countries. So, if you are excessively dependent on free trade, excessively dependent on imported goods, so this is already for the countries who concentrate on more and more import, and the country, maybe the conditions in those countries are not suitable enough that they are able to manufacture products, or they are able to grow their industries within their own country. So, in those countries you need to set up a structure where imported goods are allowed into the country, so that the people are available with different kinds of product. So, if you depend too much on import of the products from different countries, maybe you may get into deficit, because more and more import will take the currency from your home country into the different countries. and it will sweep out your currency from the home country to the different country, and of course, there will be a condition of deficit or debt in the home country. Secondly, obstacles to the development of home industries. Now, free trade may be posing an obstacle, may be a hindrance for development of home countries industries. Why? Because when foreign or imported goods are in abundance in the domestic market, it may hamper the growth of industrialization within your own country. So, a country should continuously concentrate on the points that whether it is not over importing the goods from the foreign countries or not. So, if foreign country goods are imported freely, the domestic industries of the developing country would not be able to develop rapidly due to superior strength of foreign industries. Of course, if foreign industries are importing some product from their own country into your own country, then of course, they are at a superior position, they are at a better or stronger position as compared to your own domestic market. That is why, because they have already met out the demand of the product within their own country, that means their own domestic market, and now they are expanding their business through import. So, they are already at a better position. So, more and more free trade will not allow your domestic industries to flourish, because they will be posing, you will be having a kind of challenge or a competition with the foreign made goods. Thirdly, empire builder. Under free trade, foreign traders often enjoy dominance over domestic products, thus they may become empire builders in future. So, if you allow more and more free trade of the foreign goods or the imported goods within your country, you are giving a chance to the companies from abroad, from different countries, to become an empire builder in your own country, and side by side you are also hampering the growth of your own domestic industrialization. Thus, they may become empire builders in future. For example, the past trade gave rise to colonialism and imperialism. Then fourth, import of expensive or harmful goods. So, if you import goods without any checks, without any taxes or tariffs, you are doing so, you may end up with expensive or harmful goods into your country for the people, because expensive goods, it may increase the cost of the goods into the country. Why? Because you are not imposing any kind of taxes. So, all those people who are trying to import the goods from their own country to into your country may increase the price, and this price may not be checked by the government of home country, because they are not imposing any kind of taxes. So, it is a negative effect of free trade. Similarly, sometimes harmful foreign goods may also enter into your country. That means they may affect the environment of your country, they may disturb the ecology of your country. Then fifthly, rivalry and friction. Free trade sometimes creates rivalry and friction among the trading nations. Now, of course, free trade, when the countries are allowed to import goods from their home country into some other country, then in that case, there is a condition, that is rivalry or competition, which is not in a positive form, is created between these two countries. So, in other words, commercial rivalries result from trade, often lead to war. Now, we have already discussed this point in advantages also. If we allow the countries to import goods freely without any taxes, without any non-tariff taxes, so in that case we can avoid war to a certain extent, but allowing free trade just to avoid war is not appropriate for the countries. They need to imply certain kind of rules or certain kind of regulations, so as to check the entry of each and every good and services from the foreign market into the domestic market. Now, if you impose certain checks, if you impose rules and regulation on the imported goods, sometimes countries may not like this. So, in that case there may be commercial rivalries between these two countries. Job loss through outsourcing. We often know that when we talk about free trade, there may be some kind of losses to the domestic market. Products imported free of tax or tariffs from foreign countries with lower wages to the employees cost less. Now, we all know we have to reduce the price of the product. Now, how can we do this? Do so by reducing the cost of factors of production, man, money and material. We will be talking about man, that means resources. Now, if we are able to produce the same product with the help of reduced labor cost, then we will be able to reduce the total pricing of the product. Now, here we are talking about outsourcing, that means we are producing the product in the same country, but we are outsourcing certain processes to process the product in the same own country. Like for example, most of the IT jobs in America have been taken by Indians. Why? Because Indians are available at a lower salary to the Americans. So, in that case, most of the Americans who are well qualified, they may lose their job in the same industry. Similar thing happens when we try to import products with the cheap kind of labor. So, cheap means labor with lower wages. So, countries may take advantage of this particular factor of production. It will go for production process in a country where they will find the labor at a lower wage. So, if it is so, then in the home country, they may the people from the host country may lose their job, and it may create a job opportunity in the home country. Now, countries here check into the point that outsourcing is being done from their own home country or this is being done by the host country. That means, whenever you are allowing imports of products from some country into your own, then how far you are able to generate employment for your own country, because if you are not able to generate employment opportunities for the own home country or the domestic market, you are decreasing the pocket size of the people. So, once you are decreasing the pocket size, demand of different products will decrease. You need to check that the pocket size is not affected by the free trade. Seventhly, it reduces the overall revenue of the country. Of course, imposing taxes, imposing rules and regulations increases the revenue generation, revenue part of the country. You get something in the form of taxes, in the form of tariffs when the goods are imported from some country, and generate revenue for the purpose of upgradation or building up of the country. Lastly, it allows for poor working conditions. If the people are available at a lower wage rates in a particular country, and people are losing jobs in the same country, so people will be forced to work in the conditions which are not good for human beings. So, it allows poor working conditions. That means, people are afraid of losing job, they may be afraid of losing jobs. So, in that case, they will be doing jobs in similar conditions which are not good for human beings. So, safe and fair working conditions are lacking in those countries which allow more and more free trade. At the end, we can say that the goal of the organization and goal of the business or goal of the government should integrate with each other. So, businesses have a goal of high profitability, whereas governments have a goal of protecting the domestic market. So, both these goals have to be integrated, but we cannot do so only by free trade. We need to make up a combination of free trade as well as protectionism, so as to accomplish both the goals. So, whenever the countries make up a mixture of both these, that means a mixture of free trade plus protectionism, we can go for a better solution of doing business between the two countries. Thank you.